It's like we need a...
You know, it's been a while since we've been on here.
It has been a long while.
And I think sometimes you gotta try other things. Or that's what we've decided.
When to hold them and when to fold them, I think has been a term that we've been using for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe as any of you have been aware of the energy present, you've probably been folding some cards and holding some cards to see kind of how they play out. It's no different for Jackie or I either, you know, in our personal lives and within our business, which I feel like kind of goes hand in hand. Wouldn't you agree? Like, I feel like we both come in here with energy that is relative to what's going on in our personal lives. So it's like feels all interweaved.
Yeah, the idea to keep it separate is it's old, it's outdated. Ripple is having some emotions in her own personal life right now. What I was trying to say was it doesn't, things don't have to be this, everything into a box anymore. And it has to work because either we agreed to it or it has to work because this is the schedule we set, or the list could go on about the amount of things that we've changed and pivoted and tried and hasn't worked to the point of like, is this what we're doing? Are we doing this?
I think that's a big conversation, and I think for both of our personalities of being a lot of things in one, that we knew that we had some space to be able to pivot. That even goes into the name that we chose in the sense of I think that I just lost my train of thought.
The name that we chose.
That even the name that we chose with the creatives was going to allow Jackie and I to utilize kind of a vast array of our talents, gifts, offerings that kind of nurtured our own creativity. And would hopefully nurture anyone else's or spark something or what have you. And within that, I think that has really been an undergoing process of finding out what feels important to us. And this could be like reflected even in life. And you could take this within your own experience as well of this last year. Of how you might have thought that life was going a certain way or going to be a certain way. And throughout the year, has kind of unraveled in getting more clear about what it is that you actually want or who you actually are. You know, it's like kind of that peeling away of like exactly what Jackie and I were talking about, kind of like the pivot. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel good. I'm having a hard time connecting in, or I'm having a hard time in conversation, or I'm having a hard time at work. You know, again, could be modeled in so many different scenarios, you know, but it's like been this kind of unraveling this year of like surrender is kind of how I've started to kind of conceptualize it in kind of looking back at the year.
Yeah, it's not at all how I had it. How I had envisioned it. It's not at all how it's going.
Right.
I mean, just to put it quite frankly. But if I look back at like where I was exactly a year ago to like right now, like I also wouldn't trade that person for a year ago.
Totally.
Because same and different at the same time. Is like kind of what comes to mind. A lot more patience.
Yeah, I like that same but different. Like, let's explore that a little bit. Like, what does that mean? What could it mean for you that you're the same but different? I just was trying to think about how that feels in me. Like when she said it, it made me feel a certain something, right? Like that we don't ever actually change the soul pattern or the draw to the things that are calling.
Yep.
Right? There is like a structure in place that we are always kind of...
The blueprint is there.
Yeah, perfect. Nice word. blueprint is there, but there is so much room to let go of belief systems, to let go of emotional. I don't like to call it baggage because it feels like should just get shipped off, you know. But
opening the baggage though.
Yeah, like
Let's look and see what it looks
manage it, and let's fold the clothes and stow them away, or light them on fire. What depends on what you're dealing with.
Depends on what you're going for.
Yep. And how that changes you, and even experiences of letting go, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the process of surrendering jobs, people, places, it could be any of the comforts that you are constant, right? Is such a challenging process of, I think, humility and honoring yourself, and also like grief.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like there was a tremendous amount of grief that I dealt with this year. With that though, just wondering how you've been pivoting, what you have found some footing in this year. I think for us, we're gonna start getting in front of this camera, even though both of us are not super comfortable doing it. Trying to get out of the comfort zone while still trying to grow and expand into whatever the calling is. Sometimes that's not super clear. I think even right now, it might not be through the next year. And we'll get more into details into astrological insights for the upcoming year. But it's like kind of like been preparing us to lighten the load here, I think, and how adaptable we can be. And I think that's going to carry through into next year, being adaptable.
Yeah. It's hard to climb a mountain when you're loaded down.
Or it makes it a lot more difficult, right?
Yeah.
Like, we can choose that, right?
We can choose, or we can
to hang on.
and also to share the load.